भर्गो देवस्य धीमहि धियो यो नः प्रचोदयात्। ॐ भूर्भुवः स्वः तत्सवितुर्वरेण्यं भर्गो देवस्य धीमहि धियो यो नः प्रचोदयात्। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः।
Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done, on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our trespasses, as we forgive those who trespass against us. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, and the power, and the glory, forever and ever. Amen.
Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad, Adonai Echad, Adonai Echad. Hashem Baruch, Vayishem Asti, Ushta Asti, Ushta Amalai, Et Hashem, Vayishtai Hashem. Namo Tassa, Bhagavato, Arahato, Samma Sambuddhassa. Namo Tassa, Bhagavato, Arahato, Samma Sambuddhassa. Namo Tassa, Bhagavato, Arahato, Samma Sambuddhassa. Buddham Sharanam Gacchami, Dhammam Sharanam Gacchami, Sangham Sharanam Gacchami. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. La ilaha illallah, Allah, Allah. 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 Sarishwaraya vidmahe, Satyadevaya dhimahi, Tannah sarva prachodayat. Om Sarishwaraya vidmahe, Satyadevaya dhimahi, Tannah sarva prachodayat. Om Sarishwaraya vidmahe, Satyadevaya dhimahi, Tannah sarva prachodayat. Om Srinivasaya vidmahe, Satchidanandaya dhimahi, Tannah Sai prachodayat. Om Srinivasaya vidmahe, Satchidanandaya dhimahi, Tannah Sai prachodayat. Om Srinivasaya vidmahe, Satchidanandaya dhimahi, धीमहि तन्नः साई प्रचोदयात्। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः।
Saira, I request all of us to observe silence for all the brothers and sisters that have been massacred in the New Zealand incident. Today is St. Patrick's Day, as well as we are celebrating Navroz. We are not just going to pray to the people that have lost their lives and got hurt, not just for their healing. We're going to observe silence and pray to those people that are really hurt and their feelings are making them to go hurt other people. So we should also pray for those people who are hurting others, so that more light will shine upon them to see the human inside themselves. And they are the actual victims. Everyone that is undertaking violence in the name of insecurity that is associated with their own caste, creed, religion, gender, everyone who is resorting to violence because their feelings are hurt, they are the people that really, really need to be healed by the love of God. Because the ones that have unfortunately lost their lives are not here to help others. But those that are living with this hurt in their feelings, they are the ones that are hurting themselves and hurting others. It's really important that we totally stay silent and we deeply go inside. Let us first clear off any hurt we have from others that's going to let us hurt others. Let us pray for those who are hurt. Let us pray for those who lost their most dearest and got hurt. Let us pray for all. Asato ma sadgamaya tamaso ma jyotirgamaya mrityorma amritam gamaya. From truth
Today we'll be having a very special speaker, Mr. Cody Pashudani, who will be shining light on the Spring Festival of Navroz, which was started by Zarathustra's Pitaman, whose name itself means golden light. And just a little bit about Mr. Pashudani. He was born in Tehran, Iran, and before migrating to the USA, he lived and studied in India for several years, and he even visited Shirdi often and recently also Puttaparthi. Mr. Pashudani has studied Zoroastrian history and currently teaches the youth and adults about their vast Zoroastrian heritage. And he also played a major role in building the new Zoroastrian Center and Fire Temple Complex in Mather. So now we'd like to invite Mr. Cody Pashudani.
Sairam. Just bear with me for a few minutes and a few seconds. I have to just fire up my computer. My memory is not that good, Mr. Shankar, so I have to just clear my computer. Thank you. Thank you. Glad to be here. For the past 30 years, my wife and I, we have been the follower and disciple of Sai Baba. I have been coming to this Sai Center, I don't say every week, but at least once a month and most frequently. Glad to be here, and as she brought it up just recently, my wife and I in December, we visited the Puttaparthi. We were there for a day and night. I'm going to briefly talk about the Zoroastrianism, Navroz. I'm going to take your time for 10 minutes, and hopefully that will throw some lights on who we are. And at the end, for another 2 or 3 minutes, if there are any questions, I'll be glad to answer to the best of my abilities. If I do not have a correct answer for you, I say I don't know it, but I'll get back with you. So, we say Zoroastrians. So who are Zoroastrians? Zoroaster is the prophet of Zoroastrians. Zoroaster, the meaning means golden star. Zar, it means gold. We have Zarbanu here, or Jarbanu we call, it means the golden lady. So Zar means gold. Ishtra or Istar, or in English language, star means star. So Zarathustra or Zarathustra means the golden star. Zoroastrian's prophecy goes back all the way to 2,500 to 4,000 years. It's a monetist religion, believing in one God. The God is Ahura Mazda, wise spirit, or we call it Lord of Wisdom. Good thought, good words, good deed, and Asha, the truth, are the foundation of this religion. Our holy book is Gatha. And the word Gatha comes from Sanskrit or Veda. The meaning of that, it comes from Gayata or Geet. It means songs or hymns. And you see the similarity with Bhagavad Gita also. Okay, so it comes from the same language. In other words, the Zoroastrians and our Hindu brothers, we are cousins. Our history, we share almost 2,000, 3,000 years of the same history. Navroz means, in Hindi language, means Naya Roj, means new day. It's the day that the year is changed. So the Navroz is the Zoroastrian festival that today is becoming a national celebration in more than a dozen countries. Also, it's being celebrated in several other countries, including US. In fact, United Nations formally recognized Nowruz as an international holiday. President Obama and the First Lady, during their terms, every year used to send Nowruz greetings, and Nowruz was being celebrated in White House. As I said, Hindus and Zoroastrians share several common values, norms, culture. And as I mentioned, our common history goes back to several thousand years. And as I said again, we are ancestrally brothers and sisters. In old Persia, which today part of that is Iran, Zoroastrians have had at least 2 or 3 celebrations or festivities per month. One of the most prominent one of them is Nowruz, or the New Day, which is on the 21st of March. And it's the first day of our calendar, which falls on the, excuse me, March equinox. Now, what we do on that day, house cleaning, or shaking the house, is one of the things that commonly is used. We clean the entire house before the 21st of March. People start preparing for Nowruz with a major spring cleaning at homes, buying new clothes, getting ready for the new year, and buy flowers, different kind. And in India, our Zoroastrians in India, they also clean their houses with different auspicious symbols. Like, they put those chalks outside their homes, like a butterfly, birds, a fish. They dress in their new clothes, best clothes. They go and visit their family members, and they celebrate. And also in Iran, today's Iran, and also in India, they throw large Nowruz parties. What you see to your right over there, we call half scene, or 7 items that they start with the letter S. That's why they call it half. Half comes from the word hafta, or 7. Okay, so hafta or 7, hafta sin means half sin, we will put it. Now, during the course of time, those 7 items that we put it on the table have changed, but originally, and I will say of those in Persian, they used to be sabze, which in Hindi they call it sabji. Okay, start with the letter S. There is samanu, which is a sweet pudding. They make it with wheat. They put senjad. Senjad is a Persian olive. They put serke. I believe in Hindi also they say sarkar, the vinegar, if I'm not mistaken. And they put seeb, which is apple, and in Hindu they say seb, or in Maharashtrian language they call it safarchan, if I'm not mistaken. We put seer, which is garlic, and we put the lemon powder, which is sumac. These items are known to have also astrological celebration to planets: Mercury, Venus, Mars, and Jupiter, Saturn, Sun, and Moon. The half-seen table may also include mirror, candles. They paint eggs, which is recently they have started doing it, goldfish, and then put sikka, which is coins. Also, they put it on there. Now, as I mentioned, we share a lot of common or similarities between both the religions. And I just want to talk about one interesting one, and I know a lot of scholars are in this room, so correct me if I'm wrong. It's interesting to know that Ugadi is a festivity observed on the first day of Hindu lunar solar. Also, I believe it starts by the end of March or starting of April, which is going to be this year on April 6th, if I'm not mistaken. Am I correct?
April 5th.
April 5th.
In Sacramento.
In Sacramento.
In India, it is 6th.
In India, it is 6th. Okay, so as you see, there are a lot of similarities for the season, for celebration of the New Year, and there are also another similarity that we start with half seen with 7 items, and if I'm not mistaken, for this celebration there are 6 tastes, they call it, if I'm not right.
Wow, man, that's so good.
Thank you. So you see, there are several similarities there. Happy to be a part of this program today. As you clearly brought it up, we all are in pain because of what happened in New Zealand. And for that reason, I just wanted to talk about the champion, one of the champions of human rights, which was a true follower of Zoroaster, and he is Cyrus the Great. Around 2,000 years, 2,600 years back, the clay cylinder of Cyrus the Great, which is almost the size of the American football, was put in a small barrel and was kept over there. And recently, around 150, 200 years back, they discovered that. So this happened when Cyrus the Great, the king of Persia, attacked Babylon, emancipated the Jewish people, sent them back to their country. So he is considered to be the first person. His cylinder is considered to be the first bill of human rights that anybody with any kind of thought, belief, thought of worshiping is free to do that. And tolerance was a part of his ideology, which came from Zoroaster. Freedom of worship was his one of his commands. Yes. So it is interesting to know that his cylinder, which is the first human rights, as I said, bill, was also Thomas Jefferson, the 3rd president of the United States, was also influenced by that Cyrus the Great's, we call it, if I'm not mistaken, they call that Cyrus the Great's Bill of Rights. He was influenced by that, and he also, the Bill of Rights that we have in the United States also was influenced by what Cyrus the Great had said. I am hoping that everybody, they get the opportunity to read the Cyrus the Great's cylinders, which are, the translation of them in English is available. The cylinder itself is preserved in the British Museum. I hope they get the chance to read that, because that is going to change our view regarding, tolerating each other, freedom of speech, freedom of thought, freedom of worshiping, and coexisting. Thank you for your time. If there's any question, I'll be glad to answer to the best of my ability. Thank you.
How many Zoroastrians are there around the world? Is there a population number of?
Very good question. Okay, first of all, I don't know the answer, and I tell you why. Because you cannot say somebody, you are a Zoroastrian, or I approve you as a Zoroastrian, or I don't approve you as a Zoroastrian. Being a Zoroastrian, it comes from your way of life. Good thought, good words, good deed. Okay, if you are the follower of good thoughts, good words, good deed, you're the follower of Sai Baba, you are a Zoroastrian, regardless of who says what or who says what. So I don't have the answer to that question.
Very few left.
Yeah, but if your question is who are born in the family of Zoroastrians, we are approximately 150,000 of us all over all over the world. The majority of our population is in India, and then we have in Iran. And we have also, believe it or not, we have in Iraq, Afghanistan, United States, London, everywhere.
But if I may add, just in the context of India, how incredible what we call as the Zoroastrian and the Parsi population or Parsi people have been to the upliftment of India. J.R.D. Tata, Homi Baba, and you can go on, such great souls that really came to India and their forefathers, etc. India was the first country to embrace them when they flew from Iran via Afghanistan. They took shelter in India, but they got absorbed into the culture of India as Indians with a full heart, soul, and have uplifted the society in social, scientific, economic, and so many areas. So it's such an incredible foundation of the religion.
Thank you. And in continuation to what Mr. Shankar said, believe it or not, the right hand of Mr. Nelson Mandela, the freedom fighter against apartheid, was Madam, we call it Jeanwala. Madam Jeanwala was a Zoroastrian who was living in that country. So it would be very nice, you can Google it and read about her, Mrs. Jeanwala, that how she was helping Nelson Mandela for human rights. Yeah. Thank you. Any other questions? Thank you.
There's a question.
There is?
What exactly happened in New Zealand?
I'm sorry?
What exactly happened in New Zealand?
Okay.
Maybe talk about it later. Maybe parents can
Well,
talk.
how should I put it? So it could be, there's no way that I could put it in a way that's presentable, but I can tell you bad stuff happened over there that it should have not happened. The bad people, they were responsible for Mr. Shankar, you help me out over here. I don't know what to say.
Okay.
You're a good preacher.
You talk to your dad or
Yeah.
mom at
Yeah.
home, and they will explain it to you
Okay.
what happened. Something unfortunate happened, and we are just praying for the people that got affected.
Yes.
Okay, Kana? Okay.
Thank you. Thank you.
And as I announced in the Veda class today, I request Auntie Zeru to come forward and teach us what Swami referred to as the Gayatri mantra in Gatha. And it's a very powerful mantra. We all chant this mantra, Ashem Vahu Vahishtem Asti Ushta Asti Ushta Mai Shat Ashai Vahishtem Vashem. And that's a very beautiful prayer in itself, which really truly stands for the essence of Zoroastrianism. But Auntie, you all know, has been a great spiritual influence on many of us. She is pure love that shows up here, rain or shine. We are very fortunate to have Auntie to be associated with this center. Auntie, please lead us through the prayer.
Salam everyone. I'm not so sure that I can say the pronunciations correctly because I've learned this prayer as a child and sometimes I mumble the words, so please forgive me. Maybe my Zoroastrian friends in the back can chant along with me. We'll chant the Yatha Ahuvaryo. Okay? Yatha Ahuvaryo. Atharatush. Ashatachi. Acharvangeush. Dasdamaningo. Shodananam. Vangyos Mazdai. Kshatrim Shah. Ahora. Aim. Tarekapyo. Tadat Vastarim.
Tadasvastare.
This mantra is like, of this prayer is like a Tarak mantra, meaning that it is chanted for one's safety, one's security, as well as for many, many different reasons. And this is the prayer that was chanted when our ancestors flew out of, not flew out of, but sailed out of Iran and came to India. And they had believed to, correct me if I'm wrong, they're believed to have chanted this all along in their boats. And when the fishermen who were in India heard this mantra, they tried to emulate that because they felt there was something powerful about it. So they would say, Parsi Tarot Habario is what they used to call it, the Yata Ovario Perio, Parsi Tarot Habario. And they would just repeat that portion of it over and over for their own safety and their security. It's a very powerful mantra. I'm not really eligible to teach anyone this, but there's tons and tons of things written about it. So thank you for your time, Sarah.
Saira. Thank you so much, Uncle, for coming and explaining about the Navroz festival. I request Shekhar Uncle to come and give a small token of appreciation.
Ashok is, by introduction to all of you, you all know Vedant, he's Vedant's father. Nice way to be introduced. And brother, please come forward.